Do you have sore feet? It's such a common thing, it happens to so many people. You know, we have 29 bones in each foot. So just rolling a ball underneath your foot, I'm afraid, isn't going to work. So in this video, I'm going to give you 3 different reasons why you have sore feet, explain what to do about it. I'll give you some exercises that you can try on your own, and there's also going to be a link in the description below, so if you want to follow along and do a little short yoga session with me every day so that your feet get better, then you're more than welcome to do so. So let's get started. Okay, so it feels nice rolling the ball under the foot, but we have to understand that in order to fix the problem, we have to go to the source of the problem rather than just the symptom. So what we need to understand is that every muscle, every organ, every bone, every nerve fiber in the whole body is covered with a thin layer of matter which is called fascia, which is all interconnected. So we have under here the plantar fascia. So plantar fasciitis comes from the problem with this becoming too tight. So we have the plantar fasciitis fascia coming along here, and then attaches from the heel and goes to the calves, so and all the way up the hamstrings to the glutes and to the lower back. So in fact, feet problems can be anywhere from that whole area. So from the lower back, the glutes, the hamstrings, calves, Achilles, all the way through the whole feet. So why do they get tight? Why does the fascia get tight for you? Because predominantly that's where the problem is coming from. So there are 3 different ways that we can have this problem. So one is about the shoes that we wear. So let me show you a few different pairs of shoes and we'll talk about it. So one of the big reasons why we get problems with our feet is because we're wearing shoes that have got a heel on them. Now, if you start having a look around, you'll notice that pretty much all shoes have heels. And when you think about it, it's crazy. Our foot does not have a heel. Our foot is completely flat from the beginning to the front. So why do we always get shoes like this? So you can see that when I raise my heel, then the calf tightens. So that's why high heels, you know, they cause all kinds of problems. And so your foot is coming down in this direction, just like the problem we have with the bed sheets. So you've got to wear shoes that will help you to bring your feet down. So, I mean, it's wonderful. I love my boots, but I'll only wear them, you know, for a short time period or places where I know I'm not walking around. And then when you look at, say, your typical running shoe, it always comes up at the front. And once again, our toes do not come up, but for some reason, they come up at the front. So it's lifting your toes up. So that again is causing this tightness underneath the foot, which then translates to foot pain, you know, all problems with our knees and calves and so forth. Okay, so there are super flat shoes available. Sorry, these are not gorgeous. I've had them for years, but they're just so comfortable. They're absolutely flat. They've got this really nice padding in them, but they're not too padded, because if they're really padded, that's also not good. So it's this fine line, because if you have the really thin soles, then that can you know, cause problems through the feet, particularly if it's got thin soles at the front and then a heel at the back. So it's finding that right shoe. But I tell you, the best shoes ever are these. Woo! So they're designed for barefoot running. Really, they're absolutely wonderful. So when I've had problems with my feet, I wear these. Now these I wear every day. Every time I wear them, people look at me really strangely and think I'm wearing duck feet and what are those shoes for? But I tell you, when you wear these, it fixes up any problems you might be having in your feet. So when I had you know, extreme foot pain, I just wore these all the time. I got permission from my boss. I'd be all dressed up in my nice clothes with these on the ends of my feet, and I'd say to people, I'm sorry, but you know, feet come first. So if you're sitting a lot, what happens is that all this fascia here gets tight. So you try to get up and it's like, oh, and you've got pain all back through the legs and through the backs of the calves. And if that doesn't get worked on, then basically it will translate itself into the feet, and at some stage you'll get problems with your feet. So we have to try not to sit too much as well, and make sure that we walk around, or when we sit, time ourselves, and like once an hour go and do some movement, maybe do, you know, some of these exercises, for example. And the third reason is actually from your bed sheets. So when you're sleeping at night and your legs are stretched out and your feet are coming down, so the bed sheets are pulling down, like they're tucked in at the end, and so the feet are actually coming down like this. So we need to make sure that we're getting this good stretch through here. So if we've got our foot too much this way, then we wake up in the morning with pain in our feet. So the exercises we're going to do today are going to work on the dorsiflexion and the plantar flexion. So we're going to particularly work on exercises that really stretch through here. And that's what I found really helped me when I had extreme pain in my feet and I couldn't walk. It was just miserable. So I did these exercises every day and I was right as rain within 3 weeks. And other people have this problem for years and years, so it works. So let me show you how. So the first exercise we're going to do is we're going to curl our toes under and then sit on our heels. So just sitting on the heels, and we do that for so if you haven't done this before, it could be quite painful and you might like to just lean forward until you get comfortable, but you try and sit here for, you know, about a minute or so. You can set up a timer, that's always good, because it's hard to tell sometimes how long a minute actually is. And then the next one that we do is we're sitting just straight on top of the heels. So always move that buttock flesh well over the heels and just sitting on top of the feet. Now for some people it might be quite difficult sitting on the feet like this. So in that case, oh, here we go. Then you need a blanket. So you just get your blanket and put that on the mat, make it nice and soft. And if you're still finding that it's painful here underneath the foot, then just fold your blanket. So it doesn't have to be a blanket, it can be a towel as well. And just fold it and place that underneath your ankles so that you can get nice and comfy. And just sitting here, this is called the diamond posture. So I'll also add another link below on how to sit in the diamond posture, just in case this is a little bit challenging. There's different ways to get into that. Okay, so our first exercise, I'm just bending my right knee and I put the right foot on the outside of my left buttock. And I'm just going to put my left ankle on top of my right leg. Now you can just sit in a chair and just place your ankle on top of your right knee. And I'm going to put my fingers one inside each of the toes. So, and we're just going to rotate the ankle. So there's two reasons that we do this. So one is that, like I showed you with those shoes earlier, how when we separate the toes, on an energetic level that we believe in yoga, it helps to move energy through the body, and we'll rotate the other way. But also it's in order to stretch the fascia. So we open up all the toes. We want to have as much space between the toes as possible. And of course here we're also stretching out and opening through the ankle. So we just rotate a few ways in each through. Let's change the other side. There we go. Put the fingers in between the toes and then just rotating the ankle one way and then the other. Good. All right, that's awesome. So this is something you can do when anytime you're just sort of relaxing. Obviously not when you're eating. And you can just do this exercise whenever you're not going anywhere. And you can dorsiflex and point the foot as well, just using your hand to kind of get a bit stronger with that. So yeah, if you prefer to sit on a chair, put your fingers in between all your toes and rotate them. Do it this way. And then of course the dorsal and plantar flexion through the foot. So just practice doing this every day, just when you know, relaxing. And then we can bring one foot in front of us and then just coming up onto that foot. So I'm on top of the back thigh, so I'll just show that sideways. Here we go. So I'm just sitting on top of that foot, and then I can just come forward and backward, just stretching through that ankle as well. So it's a very good one. And then I'll change to the other side. All right. So I'm just stretching forward and backward through that ankle. Awesome. And then the next one I like to do is to just come up into the downward dog. So, of course, if you don't want to do the downward dog, you can just put your hands against the wall. I'll show you that in a minute. But just come into the downward dog, and then we'll just walk the dog. So this is really good for really stretching through those ankles, and we keep pressing the heels toward the ground, pressing the hands away, lengthening through the spine. That's it. So just walking the dog like this. Very good. And then we can just keep the heels coming straight down. So we stay there. We can stay there for like a couple of minutes is pretty good. And then bring your left foot to the center, and then just bring your right foot on top of the left ankle. So it's just to get a stronger stretch because we've got more weight coming through that foot. And then we can do it with the other one as well. But if you follow the little yoga video that's in the description below, then you'll be able to follow along with me in a little class on this one. Awesome. Okay. And let's come all the way back. Beautiful. The downward dog, you can put your hands on the wall, and this is also great for when you're walking, and you know, the typical kind of runner's stretch. So with this one, really try and push that outer heel out. So pressing that outer heel out and bringing the inner thigh up to the sky. So that's really important because that helps to really make sure we're working the fascia the right way, and it really works through the calf. And then bending that back knee as well. So you're getting that stretch both ways. And then try bringing the foot, crossing it over behind you. So crossing it over like past the front foot at the back. So that one helps to get into the gluteus and helps in the sides of the knee. All right, good. And let's change to the other side. So I'm just stretching that heel all the way down to the floor. So this is instead of doing the downward dog, like if you're going for a walk or something, you just go up to a wall or a pillar somewhere, and then you can do it with the bent knee, and then the other way, and then with the foot sort of over behind you. That's it. Great. So we get a nice stretch over that way as well. Good. Awesome stuff. Okay, so the next one you can do is a squat. So you just have the feet apart and then pressing the elbows against the knees and just coming back onto those feet nice and strongly. So onto the heels. So really pressing those knees back, lifting up the chest and looking straight ahead with a peaceful face. So this way we're getting a nice stretch through the top of the ankles, and you can stay here for a minute or two as well. And another one you can do, and I do this when I go for a walk outside, just like grab a pole or something. I'm just using a chair to show you, but like, for example, I can't get my heels onto the ground. So, you know, you can put a cushion underneath your heels or something like that, and then just holding onto something so that you can get your heels to the floor as much as you possibly can. So you're getting that stretch through the top of the heels. So some of you, of course, can just go down straight without falling like me, but I can't because I don't have that kind of flexion at the front. Of course, I'm inside, so I'm going to just use a block and holding onto a chair, but you know, hanging off a stair. So when I had really bad foot pain and I couldn't walk and stuff, and I'd be able to walk a little bit and then the pain was really bad again, so then I would just hang off the edge of a gutter, a stair, anywhere, and just really hang those heels down as much as possible, and then bend the knees and continue to hang the heels down. So again, you're getting a different stretch when you're bending the knees as opposed to when you're straightening the knees. So this really, really works as well. So we just do these. So these exercises really worked for me. So I found that by really working through the tight calf muscles in particular, this really, really helped. So let me know what has worked for you when you've had sore feet, and if you'd like some other videos on other types of exercises. So I will be doing some also about the hamstrings and the glutes and the lower back. So all of those, strangely enough, will help you with any foot pain that you may have. All the best to you. Namaste.